together. So, ladies, we are so excited.
Thank you. We're glad to be back with you all today. We had a great time with you all last week as well. We texted afterwards and we're like, that was so fun. So we're glad to be back with you all today. We're going to do a little warm up. When we do a drama class with students or a rehearsal, we always is part of the work of the actor is kind of warm up our instrument. And so we're going to do that today, reviewing some of the things we did last week. And then we'll do a new activity, a game that we use that allows us to practice using our actor tool of our body and our actor tool of imagination. And then we're going to do a little scene work with you all. And work on kind of some scene analysis and character development through some really short scenes. So we're excited about that. So I'm going to jump in and really quickly review our actor tools or see if we can remember what our actor tools are. And then we'll do our actor tools chant, and then I'll pass it to Shannon to do a vocal warm up with us. So last week we talked about the tools of the actor and that every, profession has tools that they use to do their job. And the actor's tools are things that we all have with us all the time. So does anybody remember what any of our actor tools are? You can unmute or put them in the chat. Nice. Collaboration, voice, body, imagination, voice. Yep. Those are all actor tools. Courage, that's one of our extra ones. Yep. We talked about sometimes we add courage. And the only one I see missing is cooperation or working together. Well, collaboration and cooperation are kind of the same. We use the word cooperation, but collaboration is part of that. What's the other one I'm missing? Oh, concentration and focus. Excellent. Very nice. So we're going to do our actor tools chant again to help us remember those actor tools and put them into our bodies. So those of you that can, I know some of you are driving. So those of you that can, I'll invite you to stand up in your space. I'm about to step on my dog. And just find a little bit of space. You don't have to be able to move too much. Make sure y'all can see me. There we go. All right. So we're going to start out. Why don't we do there's a couple people that maybe weren't with us last week. We'll do our actor tools chant in call and response style. So I'll do a phrase and then you all will repeat it. Then we'll do it again all together. All right. When I get shook, you got to move. I'm going to actor tool on top of you. Move. My dog is very interested in being in our class. Alrighty, all ready? Today, we're going to use our actor tools. Nice. Voice, body, imagination, concentration, cooperation. And sometimes we add on the end to have everybody shake, 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 and freeze. And shake, 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 and freeze. Very nice. And you can go back to your neutral position. We do the shake freeze to help them practice freezing on command in case there's something crazy going on in the class and we need to get everybody to stop right away. So we try to practice it with actor tools chant. So let's do it one more time all together. And this time, let's see, we did robots last time, right? Let's do it as though we were ghosts. So we're going to imagine that we're ghosts doing the actor tools chant. Are you all ready? We're going to do it all together this time instead of repeat after me. So all together. Today we're going to use our actor tools. Body, imagination, concentration and cooperation. And let's shake like we're haunting our space and freeze. Very nice. We can relax and can have a seat. And I will pass it on over to Shannon for our vocal warm up.
Wonderful, thank you. So last week we did the Wizard of Oz warm up where we went through our vocal register. I'm going to introduce us actually to something a little different today that I like to pair with the Wizard of Oz voice warm up. The Wizard of Oz voice warm up is all about using different registers, going higher or lower or more nasal. But often with a script, like the scripts that we're going to do today, the actor's going to take a more naturalistic, neutral voice. And what's really important is their articulation. So I'm going to go through just a couple of quick articulator warm-ups that help you really get your consonant sounds clear. So I'm going to start by inviting everybody to kind of rub your hands together, get them nice and warm, and then give your face a little massage. This actually really helps with our articulation to activate all the muscles in the face. It's also just nice at the end of a work day. Imagine that your face is made out of clay and you're sculpting the shape of each of your features and just kind of enjoy wiping that stress away. Oh. All right, now we're going to really activate all of our facial expressions as well, and the kids love this one. Your first task is to make your face as small as you can. You're imagining that like you're pulling your face to the middle and wrapping a rubber band around it. So make your face really, really, really small. Or like you just bit into the world's most sour lemon. And now you're going to make your face as big as you can, like you're riding a motorcycle in the wind. Ha, ha. And very, very small face, tiny, tiny face, and big face. Ah. Good. And blow through your lips a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna tap into those of you that teach linguistics or phonemic awareness here, and I'm gonna talk about our plosives. We've got the sounds that are plosive, like the sound of P and the sound of B, and they're distinct. One is voiced and one is not. And that's also true with the percussives, and that's also true with the vibrating sounds. So this is super simple. We're gonna do it call and response. I will do the warm up and then I'll indicate you and you just do it there in your own space. Pip, 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 pa. Bib, 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 ba. Pip, 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 bib, 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 pip, 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 bib, bib, bib. All right, I'm going to do that one again and really get clear between the difference on the sound of and the sound of ba. Pip, 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 bib, 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 pip, 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 bib, bib, bib. Good. Kick, 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 ka. Gig, 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 ga. Kick, 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 gig, 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 kick, 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 gig, gig, gig. Ti-ti-ti-ta. Di-di-di-da. Ti-ti-ti-di-di-di-ti-ti-ti-di-di-di. All right, one more. Mi-mi-mi-ma. Ni-ni-ni-na. Mi-mi-mi-ni-ni-na. Mi-mi-mi-ni-ni-na. Good. And that's the one that the students tend to get the most mush-mouthed on. And that's also true with scripts. Those sounds are so similar. And I like to tell them when warming up, when you're making the sound of M, your lips should be completely together and vibrating. When you're making the sound of N, your teeth show. Now, that is a little exaggerated, but it really helps student actors to go exaggerated in the warm up. And then when they're on stage, they are more clear. All right, so our voice is warm, our bodies are warm. Jen's going to teach us an imagination game before we get into our script work. Back over to you, Jen.
Thank you. This is a crowd favorite, so we wanted to make sure that we shared it with you all, especially for the younger kids, like the elementary age kids, but older kids will still do it too. And especially if you know, kind of put it in a setting that works for them or a play they're working on. So I'm going to teach it to you, and then I'll share a little bit about some different ways that we can use it. And Shannon's already getting ready. So again, like with the actor tools, you need to stand up if you can. Obviously, if you're driving, please keep driving safely. Stand up if you can. It's a little bit hard to see on Zoom. Thanks. My husband's making sure I have space to do the things. Thank you. And now the dog's back. Okay, show check smooth. All right, so it's called Magic Rock. So when we're in a room together, we would ask you all to kind of create the shape of your own rock, like a boulder, which would mean probably getting down on the floor and becoming a rock. But because we're on Zoom and you can't really see my floor very well, Shannon's going to do an example. And now we can't see her. So if you kind of just do it with the top half of your body, that's okay. You can also make your boulder a different shape if you'd like as well. There we go. All right, so this is how the game works. And depending on the age of the students, we would ramp up the sort of imagination in terms of the presentation. The older kids don't always love that. So I would say that I am a magical wizard who lives in this field of magic rocks. And I will invite you all to become your magic rock. And as you're becoming your magic rock and settling into your spots, I am going to make all of these rocks magical. And that means that they can transform into anything they want to. And I'm going to give you all some instructions on what to become. So it'll work like this. I'll say, magic rocks, transform yourselves into a kitty cat. And then you all would come alive and become kitty cats. However you want to do that physically. You could be batting at a toy. And then I'll say again, magic rocks. And that's when you turn back into your rock and let go of your kitty so that you can become something else. So we'll do a few rounds of that to kind of get our bodies moving, our imaginations moving, connecting our mind and our body together. And then we'll talk a little bit more about some ways to use this activity. So magic rocks. Transform yourselves into an octopus. Nice. Magic rocks. Oh, my beautiful magic rocks. Magic rocks. Transform yourselves into a space alien. Any kind of space alien. It can be friendly or mean. Let me see your various space aliens. Nice. And I'll invite your space aliens. You can stay on mute, just do it in your own space. I would love to hear your space aliens say in their best space alien voice, hello, how are you? So let's hear those space aliens in their best space alien voices. Very nice. And magic rocks. And magic rocks, I invite you to transform yourselves into cougar. Let me see your very best cougars. Ooh, very nice. And let's say your cougars are really, really scared, like something is threatening them and they're really upset about it. Let me see your really upset, afraid cougars. They're very, there we go. Oh, and let's see your sweet little baby cougars. Kind of just having a little nuzzle and a nap, your little baby cougars. Very nice, very nice. And magic rocks, magic rocks, magic rocks. Excellent. We'll do one more. Magic rocks, magic rocks, magic rocks. Transform yourself into a magical sea creature. It can be friendly, it can be not friendly, but it's some kind of sea creature that we've never seen before. Very nice, very nice. And magic rocks, magic rocks, magic rocks. Excellent. And you guys can relax. Very nice. The kids, the younger ones, could play that for an hour. They love that. Love it, love it, love it. And just a few things about facilitating that activity, or some ways that it can be used if you're not in a drama class. Well, first of all, it's just a great brain break, right? If you can't go outside or whatever. But one of the things that we use it for sometimes is to introduce the characters in a specific story. So if we're reading a story that is set on a farm, then we would have the magic rocks turn into different farm animals, so they could kind of practice being those characters in their bodies and in their voices before we read the story and ask them to kind of act those out and become those characters. We also you could also use ask them to become different things to go along with a theme that you're working on, or a historical time period that you're working on, just as a way to kind of get them thinking about that. You could even use it in science if you're thinking about like the planets or different parts of the water cycle or something like that, where they could embody some of those different things in a way that kind of lets them brainstorm kind of how and imagine how those things might move before they get into the real like academic part of it. I often, different teaching artists do it differently, and Shannon, I'd be interested to hear how you do it. I usually tell my magic rocks that they're so heavy that they can't actually move from their spot, even when they transform into something else. So they can transform into anything they want, but they have to stay in their spot. They can't. And part of that is, you know, you have a bunch of 5-year-olds running around the room being tigers or whatever. Someone is bound to run into a desk or scratch somebody or whatever. So, but the kids that are a little bit older can handle the moving around, or you might instruct them to move around with like a 1, 2, 3 action or something. And I did it as an example on one of them, but you can also, if you explore different emotions using magic rock and putting them in different scenarios, or naming emotions and have them practice expressing different emotions as different characters. You can give them lines to say, like I did, for example. Usually we tell them that it's a silent activity until they get the instruction of, oh, let me hear what your tiger sounds like. Oh, if your tiger could speak English, how would they say, hello, how are you? Because with the younger kids in picture books and things, the characters are often animals who speak in English, right? So having them practice that is really helpful. Shannon, do you want to add anything about
Yeah, I'll add a
facilitating this
couple of things.
safely?
Yeah, one thing is I really like to make the activity a little bit extra magical by bringing either a bell or a singing bowl. And this is not just for littles, but also with adult actors, with high school students. We do this game, and at the point that I cast the spell. So if I said, Magic Rocks, show me a tree growing in the forest, I would ring the bell while they do it, which just gives an added like sense of we're in this magical world. And with older students, like Jen said, you can explore emotions and you can explore themes. We've done things where we might talk about what's the color of this scene? What's the weather of this scene? And then we might do some magic rock where I say, magic rock, show me the color red, and see how they put that, you know, that takes a little bit more abstract thinking. The younger ones can also do the super abstract ones, but it kind of takes them a little while to build up to that. All right.
I would say too, this game is a great activity, especially if you work with elementary kids, to have in your back pocket, because you can play just like 2 quick rounds of it if you just have like 5 minutes to fill. And in my experience, I have never met an elementary school kid that doesn't beg to play this game once they've learned it. And they'll do it over and over. They'll do it for an hour, forever and ever. So it's a great one to have in your back pocket just to pull out if you need to fill some time, or they need to move around a little, but you don't want to take a long time to set up a whole big game. Once they've learned it, you could just get them into Magic Rock and go. So it's a great kind of back pocket tool for any time.
Yeah.
And
Also, with
Shannon,
older ones, you can hand off the wizard role to different students and have them challenge their fellow actors to, you know, show me a broken refrigerator. It amazes me some of the things. One of the kindergartners at one of our schools last week was the wizard and said, "Show me a pop quiz." And I thought, how are they going to act out a pop quiz? But they found some of them were very realistic. I am a sheet of paper. Some of them were like doing surprise questions or looking afraid. But it's amazing how abstract they'll kind of go with things. All right, so we're
yeah,
gonna
we have a couple of comments too about how this would be great during reading, and also as an icebreaker with groups, and especially with social emotional learning for sure. Can be a
yes.
great way to practice expressing different emotions in a contained way because they can't move. Or what are different emotions look like, or things like that. So it'd be really great for that. It's very adaptable. So
And
all
I
right,
also
Shannon's
saw
gonna
in the chat the question about if you'll get a Google Doc with the resources. I apologize that I didn't have that ready. There was a little something that I needed to think through with that, because the activity that we're about to do, the scripts that we're using come from a website called the Drama Notebook, and you do have to pay to download them. So there's not a way for me to just put that link in a Google document, but I'll share. And I don't know if you all are familiar with that website or not. The Drama Notebook is amazing. There's a monthly subscription, or you can pay by download, but they've got all kinds of great simple activities, all the way up to scripts that you can download and use. So this is an activity that a lot of drama teachers do, and I just find that their scripts for it are really good examples. We're going to do something called open scenes. And this is something we do with students to talk about the idea of subtext. In any script, there's the text, the words the characters are actually saying to each other. And then there's what the characters are thinking, but not actually saying, that we want to be able to convey with tone of voice and with pausing and with spatial relationship to the other actor. Sometimes you can show a clip of a TV show or a movie and, show a little scene and then pause and say, what are they actually thinking? If there's a thought bubble above their head, what would that say? And that's the subtext. So in an open scene, it's a really short 2-person scene that doesn't really have a plot to it. It kind of sounds like small talk. But then when you give character and background, the subtext kind of appears. So let's see here. I do have some of these saved in a document that I can drop in the chat. And there is a small chance.
I'll put it in the chat, Shannon.
Oh, great. Thank you. And then I can also share my screen. And we need a couple of volunteers to go first and read a scene. Who's going to go? All right, Tanya's going to do it. Tanya and Kelly are going to do it. All right, great. So Jen's putting it in the chat, and I will also open it and share screen for anybody who that's easier for.
I'm gonna have to opt out. I just got an important phone call. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
okay. All right, Tanya needs a new scene partner. Who can be her scene partner? I know she's going to be a great scene partner. Who's going to do it? Let's see it. All right, fantastic. Mary Beth will do it. Okay. I'm just waiting for Jen to drop it in the chat.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I put the right one in. Hold on.
It's the one that says no intro.
Okay, got it. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I got the right one.
All right, and I'll also open
It should be set so that anyone with the link can open it, but if anyone has access issues, just let us know.
And
Are y'all able to open it?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's see here if I have screen sharing capability. It looks like I do. Beautiful. So then you all can also see it here on my screen. Oh, nope, this is the wrong one. Hang on, I'm closing it and opening the correct one. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, you all. My technology is just not, I'm not keeping up with my technology today. Okay. There we go. Now I have the correct one. All right. So let's have Tanya be character A, and let's have Mary Beth be character B. And we're going to read it one time through just neutrally, just to get the words, hear what the words sound like. And then Jen's going to give you all a scenario. All right, whenever you're ready, Tanya.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Did we lose Mary Beth?
Hi. I didn't expect to see you here.
I could say the same thing for you.
What's new?
Not much. You?
Same. It's supposed to rain today.
Oh, really?
Buckets.
Well, see you later.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
Great. All right. So Jen, do you have an idea for a backstory for these characters?
Sure. And we're just saying them to everyone, right? We're not gonna have anybody guess, right? Okay, so person A, you are gonna be a parent to person B, who is a child. And your person B is in the kitchen when person A enters. The subtext for person A is tell me the truth. The subtext for person B is I need to get out of here.
Okay, you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Hello.
Hi.
I didn't expect to see you here.
I could say the same thing for you.
So, what's new?
Not much. You?
Same. It's supposed to rain today.
Oh, really?
Oh, buckets.
Well, see you later.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
Great. Can we ask for some observation from some of the audience? Can you pinpoint any of the things that Tanya and Mary Beth did that let the subtext come through?
I feel like Tanya was kind of dubious in her conversation, like, really, kind of felt like that.
Yes. We call that paralanguage, those little hums that you do before and after, uh, or throat clearing sort of things. What else?
I loved her assertiveness. Like I felt like I'd been caught.
We have some comments in the chat too that tone of voice, Tanya's facial expressions, especially towards the end when she said, I'll see you around, and affect, facial expressions, volume of the voices. They created some tension in the expectation, the sound in their voices, expression, and intonation plays a big part.
Great. And I noticed Mary Beth did things with her eye contact also. Even though you all are not in the same room together, Mary Beth was doing a lot of only looking at the other character out of the sides of her eyes, which really gives that feeling of being caught.
I've taught fifth grade for a long time.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I'm going to scroll us down to a different scene. Oh, I love this one. And ask for a different set of volunteers. And Jen, because I'm sharing screen, I can't see many people. So if you could look for volunteers. You're muted.
Isa was saying, I can't see very many people either with the
Kelly,
screen.
I
Oh,
know
there you go. I
Kelly
can make you
volunteered.
bigger.
Yeah,
All right, so we have
Kelly.
Kelly. Oh, good. Kelly's back from the phone call.
and
Yeah,
Debbie.
Kelly.
Yeah, and Debbie.
Rebecca said that she can in the chat.
Yes,
Great.
girl.
Kelly and Rebecca. All right. So for this one, let's have Rebecca be A and Kelly be B. And we'll read it through one time just to hear what it sounds like. And then I'm going to give you a scenario that is not one of the ones written on the paper. So I'm going to surprise you. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Well,
Well, what?
what are you gonna do?
I have no idea.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
The clock is ticking.
I know.
You can do this.
Yes, I know.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay. So I'm going to invite you all with this next scenario to use the actor tool of your body to add in some subtext, because the scenario is this. Kelly's character is going off the high dive for the first time, and she's standing at the edge of the high dive, looking down at the water. Rebecca's character is standing at the bottom of the ladder, cheering her best friend on. Now, we don't actually have a high dive or a ladder, but I'm going to invite Kelly in. Yeah, it was in a way where you can still see your computer. How can you show with your body that anxiety of the high dive or that encouragement? All right, whenever you're ready.
Well,
What?
what are you gonna do?
I have no idea.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
The clock's ticking.
I know.
You can do this.
Yes, I know.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Great. That was wonderful. Let's throw out some observations to them. Either just unmute yourself or drop it in the chat. And then I think we have time to do one more pair.
Just a simple act of one of them's looking up, one of them's looking down. I mean, you can see it. You can see the scene.
We have in the chat facial expressions, tone of voice. You could tell who was up and who's down. The inflections in their voices were awesome. I agree. Position. I liked the slow thanks. The cheering hands, the way they used inflections, demonstrating the distance they were away from each other. I felt the nervousness from Kelly. Love the hesitation in the response, tension in voice, and fear.
Yeah, you did a great job of having the subtext of I am terrified come through the lines. I have no idea and I don't know. That was great.
I actually used to teach children swimming and diving. So I've been at the bottom of that,
Yes,
looking up, trying to convince them.
yes. Jennifer and I actually belong to the same pool here in Louisville, which is in an old rock quarry.
Oh, cool.
It has a high dive, and at least once a summer, a little tiny person gets to the edge of the high dive and freezes, and everyone in the whole quarry, which is like the size of a lake, everybody stops and watches and is, you can do it, and cheers. And if they actually do jump off, then the pool just erupts with, celebration for them. All right. Let's do one more, and then we can discuss a little bit how you could extend this activity, different ways to use it. So can we get one more set of scene partners? Let's see here.
We had a couple people that's in the chat earlier. Greta and Valerie volunteered.
Great. All right, Greta, you are A, and Valerie, you are B. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you which scene. Scroll down to scene 4, or that's the one that I have on my screen now. Whenever you all are.
It looks like the document that they have only has to scene 3.
Oh,
I'll just
I'm
from the screen here. That's fine.
okay. Well, and I will drop I will drop this document in the chat also. Sorry, I had one that just had the 3 scenes with the ideas for subtext, and then another one that it actually has 25 different sets of scenes. And this is the one that you can download from Drama Notebook.
Hello.
Hello. So why don't you tell me about it?
About what?
About what happened?
It was a mistake.
A mistake?
Yes, an accident.
I see.
What happens now?
Consequences.
Oh,
Exactly.
So this one actually has a bit of a plot to it. The subtext, there's some subtext that's right on the surface, but the scene's going to play out differently depending on the age and circumstances of the characters, right? You got an idea for this one? I do, Jen, if you don't, but I know you have lots of ideas too.
I do, but it's not fully formed. So if you have an idea for the sake of time,
Okay, we're gonna do it. So you all are sisters, and character A took a dress from her sister's closet and wore it to a school dance, did not ask sister, and then got ketchup all down the front of the dress and just hung it back up in the closet and hoped that she wouldn't notice. So character B, whoever's playing character B, you are walking into your sister's room holding the dress on the hanger whenever you all are ready.
hello.
Hello. So why don't you tell me about it?
About what?
About what happened?
It was a mistake.
A mistake?
Yes, an accident.
I see.
What happens now?
Consequences.
Oh,
Exactly.
Great. Great. And then you could do the same scene with the same two partners, but say, now you're a boss and an employee, and the employee accidentally shared a confidential email and has been called into the boss's office. So it's a really similar subtext of you've been caught, oh no, I'm in trouble, but adults are going to do it differently. Would you all, Greta and I've lost the other scene partner. Was it Valerie? Would you all be willing to do it one more time and do it in those roles as employee and boss?
okay. Real quick, which one am I?
Let's see. You are the employee. You were just the sister who had borrowed the dress, right? So in
Mhm.
this one, you are the employee that has accidentally shared confidential information. And your scene partner is Valerie is the boss.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. So, why don't you tell me about it?
About what?
About what happened?
It was a mistake.
A mistake?
Yes, an accident.
Hmm. I see.
Well, what happened now?
Consequences.
Oh,
Exactly.
Jen, we got to get some of these teachers up here to Louisville to audition for Looking for Lilith. You guys are great. That was great. All
that was
right, I'm
great.
going to stop sharing now so I can see everybody again. And let's just open up some discussion for a few minutes about how you might use this activity with subtext or how you might expand it. And then we can share some ways that we've also done that. And again, you can just, there's not a whole, oh, there's 35 of us. Okay, so yes, you could raise your hand digitally or drop it in the chat. I was going to say just unmute yourself and talk, but there's more of us than I thought.
Can you say the question again?
How could you use this as part of a larger lesson? How could you expand it? Where would you see maybe using it in the classroom? Okay, yeah, I'm seeing you could do it as puppet plays. Oh, I love that. And then really focus only on the tone of voice. Do the puppets and how can you get the subtext just with the tone of voice? On the other side of that, and this is something that I've done, once they know the characters and the setting, you can have them act it out silently. How can you communicate all of that with no words? Oh, great. Using it with the dialogue of a novel and having the students read it out loud and show the context. Yeah.
That was something I was thinking about today is, when you read a novel, the subtext is often there, right? Like the author writes that we get to see both the inside and the like what's being said and what the character is thinking often, not always. But that's not true in a play. And sometimes even the actors don't know what exactly the subtext that the playwright was thinking. So it can be a great way to embody something you're reading in a novel for sure.
Oh, I like that. Okay, we've got some really great ideas in here that I'm going to be using. Creating a two-person dialogue based on a photo where you can discern what the subtext is from the expressions and the posture in the photo. Reading the lyrics from a song like a conversation and seeing different meanings that come out of that. Henry II and Thomas Becket make them seem like real people. That's a great thing you can do once you've kind of introduced the idea of subtext, is take a section from a play and have them rewrite it all in subtext. So what would we hear if the characters were saying what they're not actually saying out loud? Yes, a historical fiction piece, and then do the same plot but in a different context, like in another genre. Okay, I am seeing some comments about glitching, and I don't know whether it is me that is glitching. Is it me?
No.
Okay, great.
Greta, I think this is really interesting too, your comment about some kids can read with expression and others can't. I think this is a great, like, I think you're suggesting this is a great activity to help kids see how it makes a difference when you use expression and when you don't. Like if you read it neutrally versus if you read it, especially if you can have kids that do read with expression, give them different scenarios to read the scene in, and then you can kind of talk about, like we did, how did you know that that was the subtext? Or sometimes we've done it where you give the two actors, the subtext and the scene and the relationship, but you don't tell the class what it is. And so then they have to try to guess, are they parent child, are they teacher student, are they boss employee, are they two friends, and kind of what the dynamic is. And it can be a great way for them to practice that or to see examples of it from students that can do it well. And there was a comment early farther up about use as a counselor. Marcia shared, as a counselor, communication is a big issue for many kids, and I would use it to teach undertones in conversations. I think that's really, it's kind of the same thing we were just talking about, right? Like kids don't understand, like nonverbal communication is a huge portion of communication. It's not just the words we say, right? And so we teach that in acting because we want to communicate the story to the audience. But in real life, I think a lot of times kids don't understand that the tone of their voice is hurtful, or that the way they're looking at the person or the way they're holding their body, and having them, use these to practice. And also, we talked earlier about the social emotional, practicing different emotional states and how you would express yourself, how to figure out when somebody is mad at you.
Yeah, I see Debbie's hand.
Okay, I'm going to unmute on this one. Can you imagine sophomore, junior, senior literature reading Shakespeare and converting this to today?
Yeah,
The kids would that not be a hoot?
absolutely.
Today's playing, I mean, can you imagine how much fun that would be? Not
Yeah.
only as a teacher, but for the kids.
Yes.
That's something I would love to do.
I love that idea, Debbie.
I think that'd be great.
Okay. I'm scrolling through to see if I see any other hands. All right, I'm going to share a couple of ways that we extend it and use it. And of course, if anybody else has ideas or questions, you can jump back in. One thing that we like to do especially with older students, 4th, 5th grade, and of course, middle high school, is give them the scene and have them come up with the scenario and make it very clear that they cannot change any of the lines, but they have to communicate what the situation is through the way they move their body, through the subtext, and then have the other students guess. And with the guessing, I like to scaffold that so that the actors have a sense of success if you go straight to who do you think they were and what was happening, and students start to guess it wrong, it can feel kind of deflating. So I like to start with, okay, so Greta's character, what do you think she was feeling? And have them first just identify, like, she seemed scared, she seemed worried. Identify the feelings of the two characters first so that the actors can get some affirmation of, yeah, I was telling the story, and then move into what could maybe the situation have been.
I think a question too sometimes that I ask is, again, to kind of get them, because the students like get sort of upset if they don't guess the right exact characters, right? So sometimes I might ask, who had the power in this scene, or who had the most, authority or the highest status in the scene? And even if they don't know for sure whether it's a parent teacher, a student teacher or a employee boss, they can usually tell, oh, this person's the one who has the authority or the power in this scene, and this one is the one who doesn't. Or they might say, oh, they're equal. And that's, it can be a way for them to acknowledge the different status of the person without having to name the exact characters.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And that is also a good entree then into staging. If they've said, okay, this character has the power, then you can ask them to decide, what can you do in the way that you stage it that shows that that person has the power? And it's not always that the person is on a higher level. Sometimes sitting with your arms crossed can be the more powerful position, but that's a good way to then start playing with staging. Another thing that you can do with this activity that kind of takes it away from subtext and into another skill set is that you can use it as a jumping off place for some devising. Devising is when the actors are creating their own dialogue. It's a little bit different from improv because they create the dialogue and then they keep the characters and the scene the same. But devising is like collaborative playwriting. And you may all already be familiar with that term, so forgive me if I'm over explaining. But you can take one of these scenes, give it some characters and subtext, and then invite the two actors to write, well, what happened with these two characters in the moment before? If this is scene 2, what happened in scene 1? Or conversely, what happens after the last line? What's the next scene? If one of these characters is going to go and text her friend about what happened, what's she going to say? And then you've got a monologue that they can work on. Or if this character's writing in her diary about it. So it can also lead into some playwriting activities, some monologue writing activities. You can even use one of these scenes as the starting off place to create an entire play. Oh, good. Making a prediction. Yes. Yes, yes. There's so many things. I know you all know this. There's so many of those standards and skill sets that we can get at through theater. Oh, good. Wendy, I'm so glad that you are capturing the chat. And I am going to I'm going to send out to you all a Google document with the description for Magic Rock and with the link to Drama Notebook so that you can purchase the download for all of these scenes and the plan that goes with them. And if your school has a membership to Drama Notebook, then you can already just access that download.
I would add too about Drama Notebook. It's like, I think $12 a month or something. And it's a really great resource, especially if drama is something you have to teach, or that you are a drama teacher, or you're an art teacher, but you are actually a visual artist, but you also have to teach drama. It has a lot of great full lesson plans, full unit plans. It has a lot of basics, like all the steps you need to put on a school play, how to run a rehearsal. They have documents. There's like hundreds of different downloadable documents. And a little secret is that before we had a monthly membership, you get unlimited downloads. So if you have a monthly membership, you can, pay for it for a few months and just download what you think you'll need. But it's a great resource if drama is something that you have to teach and you really are looking for resources, and it's pretty affordable. You can also download you can pay for individual documents, but if you're going to download more than like 2, probably the monthly membership, at least for a few months, is worth it.
Awesome. It's like having a little Jen and Shannon on a website that you can access. Right.
There's Shakespeare stuff on there. There's different holiday plays. I mean, even if you're just looking for something fun to do for a holiday party or something, there's things in there. All age groups through, like, little kids through high school. So.
All right. We will be back with you all again next week. And we're going to talk about process drama and lead you through some activities from one of the process dramas that we do in the classroom. A process drama is kind of like where the class is playing a game of make-believe all together that's led by the teacher. And it's used from kindergarten all the way through college. I think we'll do one that's aimed at the upper elementary, middle school kind of age. So if you're interested in that, be back and join us next week. Awesome.
Thank you all so very much. This has been, I can't believe it's already been an hour. It just has flown by.
No,
This has
it's
been
fun.
wonderful. Yeah, so glad that everyone was able to join us. Yeah, awesome as usual. I agree. This was super, super fun. And I hope that everyone was able to like capture something that you could take back and use in your classroom. I will capture all of your amazing, I was looking through the chat. There are so many wonderful ideas that you all were like, hey, I could use it for this. I could use it for this. I mean, so many wonderful ideas that I was trying to go through and read them all. One thing that I think works for all of us, and again, I was trying to look at all of them, but Tanya put in the chat, and I hope everybody was able to see this, taking a primary source and then write or create a subtext. Because I know that we all work with, primary source in some way, or like a primary text, whether it be a photo or, because if we're visual arts, or whether we're drama or music. But think about that, how many layers deep that is. Taking that primary source and then you having your students create that subtext. What do you think the artist, or what do you think they were thinking or saying or doing, or what do you think that subtext, just like what we were doing with this? I mean, how deep and how, we're thinking about inquiry and our students, getting them to think deeper. I love that. I mean, we can do so many different layers of inquiry with that, just that one simple assignment. I love that, Tanya. That was great. And I love looking at all of your different, so there are so many different things that I love, a jumping point for digital storytelling. So I will take all of your wonderful ideas. We will put those in our Wakelet. This makes me excited about next week and what we will do, but here is your evaluation. Remember, that is your attendance check for today. Ladies, this has been so wonderful. I know that we're already thinking, what are we going to do for, going into January and beyond. So thank you all so much for being with us. Have a wonderful,
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you all. Renaissance leaders, if you all have looked at the calendar, there are tons of new things that we've added, and we're still adding more. I think Dr. Evans kind of was ready to whip me for all the things that we were adding today. Remember, you do not have to come to all of them. It's a pick and choose menu, but we are adding tons of new things, just like I said. One thing that I will say before everyone leaves, I put this in the very start of the chat today. We have not added any of our peer-to-peer sessions because I'm still waiting on everyone to complete this. Oh, man, it's not copying for me. I'm still waiting on everyone to complete our needs assessment. It's not copying, copy link. So if you have not completed the needs assessment, I think that's it. Oh, maybe that's the evaluation. Oh, rats. So here is the needs assessment. I think that's it. I'm trying to do too many things at once. Is that last one that I sent? Is that the needs assessment? Will somebody click on that? Okay. Lynn says yes. So the last thing that I just put in the chat is your needs assessment. And it's completely, I don't see who filled out anything. So you can it's 100% anonymous. But the reason why we're really wanting to know is what's your preferred method of learning. If you love in-person sessions, you will never come to a virtual session, and you want to be face-to-face with somebody, that's what we need to know. And we're also looking for those collaborative, like peer-to-peer sessions. Us to try to do regional meetings where we get everybody that's in this regional area together and do those type of meetings. Or if you're looking for something more like a book study type learning, that's the way you want to do peer-to-peers, or that's just kind of what we're looking before we start scheduling a bunch of peer-to-peer sessions and they're all virtual and you're like, hey, that's not really what I'm looking for. So again, I know you hear us say this all the time. We really do try to schedule based on what your sessions like. There's a bunch of technology sessions because everybody said, hey, we're really looking for technology. We're going to throw in some content. I'm scheduling music sessions as we speak. I've got fabulous professors from EKU that are music that you all have asked for. We also have in the spring session, we're going to have some art history sessions. All of that is coming as well. So don't feel like that you only are getting technology from this grant. You're going to get those specific music and art history and drama sessions just like today. But we really need to know what is it. If you're wanting student strategy, like student engagement sessions, those are the things that you need to indicate on this needs assessment survey. I think at the last I looked, I think we only had 26 people that had completed that, which is a little less than a fourth of the grant. And I hate to make decisions based on that few of people that have completed. So if you need anything, let me know. That's what we're here for. But I'm going to start scheduling some things. I just hate to do it based on a small population. Yeah, I know kids are teaching me technology too. I have to ask my kids all the time. So that's why I couldn't even put the form in the chat. So I need those technology. David, if you did not get an email, then you are good to go. They only sent out like emails to people that had not completed their W-9 contracts.
When she says they, she means me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Dr.
I did
Evans.
send it. I sent 2 emails out, one last night blind copied, then I went to each grant, all of our 5 USDOE this morning and sent a reminder. So if you got an email, we don't